everyone, and welcome to Boss Advisory. Today we're going to talk about what truly separates the rich from the poor. The richest 1% of the population controls 48% of the total wealth, and the top 80 richest persons are worth as much as half the world's population, or 3.5 billion people. Considering these numbers, it's clear that the rich and poor are separated. Many people think wealthy people are born wealthy or win the lottery, but that's not true. Only 11 out of 80 richest people inherited their wealth, while the other 69 created it themselves. The investment mogul is one of the 69. Warren Buffett grew up in a middle-class home, but amassed the knowledge and talents that contributed to his $70 billion fortune. We've all seen people with plenty and some with little. What differentiates the rich from the poor? Sure, rich people have more money than poor people, but there are other factors as well. Rich and poor people can live in the same place, have the same employment, and have 24 hours in a day. But one can live paycheck to paycheck while the other has more money than they could spend in a lifetime. What is the difference between a billionaire and a poor person? Using our rich friend John and our poor friend Tim as examples, I'll explain what distinguishes them so you can follow their behaviors and become wealthy. John and Tim are middle class, have similar IQs, and live in the same neighborhood. Both men are equal. Their financial accounts are opposites. John and Tim commute home Monday afternoon. Tim arrives home, turns on Netflix, and binge watches mindless TV to unwind from a busy day. Definitely. Tim's supervisor suggested he read more books to enhance his promotion chances this year. But he can't be bothered now that a new season of his favorite show is out. John connects into his computer to study the moment he gets home. John reviews his exam notes. John already has many master's degrees, but he spends a few hours every night working towards another accreditation to climb the corporate ladder faster. Don Locke, one of John's idols, spent almost $500,000 a year on studying. If millionaires devote so much time and money in studying, John should too. Therefore, difference number 1, the rich never stop learning. Tim's employer gives everyone bonuses the next day. Tim's $100 bonus is substantially less than his peers. Tim complains to his employer about his embarrassing bonus after 10 years at the company. His supervisor says Tim seldom stays late to support his staff, and its output has declined every year since he started. Across town, John is working hard. His employer hands him an envelope with a $10,000 check inside when he approaches. John is grateful for the bonus. John's supervisor says he's been working a lot lately, and his recent assignment saved the company $1 million. This was the least they could do to recognize his work. Therefore, difference number 2, the rich sell value and the poor sell time. Tim counts down the days until Thursday, when he gets paid. As soon as he gets his bi-monthly check, he runs to the bank to pay his creditors. His monthly payments include rent, hydro, and income tax. Tim checks his savings at the end of the month. As he checks his balance, he realizes he didn't save any money and that it's lower than a month ago. Tim is clueless about the money. $500 of John's paycheck goes into a savings account he can't access. John pays his mortgage, electricity, and income taxes at the end of the month after funding his savings. John smiles as he sees his bank balance increase, making him increasingly rich. Therefore, difference number 3, the rich pay themselves first while the poor pay themselves last. Tim watches an ad for a new HDTV one night after work. Tim can only afford a $1,000 TV this year. Tim wants to buy the new $500 PlayStation but can't afford it. Tim sulks, wishing his boss had given him a bigger bonus to buy both. After passing his exams, John rewards his hard work by buying a new gaming system and TV. John has a $1,000 budget but wants a new TV and PlayStation. Instead of choosing between the two, John asks how he can acquire both. He decides to take on a side consulting project to earn the $500 he needs to buy a PlayStation and construct himself a gaming set to celebrate. Therefore, difference number 4, the rich have a growth mindset while the poor have a fixed mindset. Because Tim dreads work, his morning routines include a Starbucks Frappuccino. Tim couldn't make it through a few hours of work without his sugar-filled coffee, so he's ready to pay $5 a day for his caffeine fix. John walks by Starbucks every day but drinks the complimentary coffee at work. His coffee isn't as nice as Starbucks, but saving $5 a day is worth it. John has saved $5 a day for a year now and has $1,500 to go to Mexico with his friends. John knows delayed gratification helps him emulate his wealthier peers. According to a Temple study, occupation, education, location, and gender were listed as key variables. Delaying instant satisfaction beats age, color, ethnicity, and height. Researchers believe that a person's ability to envisage larger future rewards makes them less likely to succumb to short-term pleasures, which is why passing down a daily latte was simple when imagining all the fun he would have in Mexico with friends. Therefore, difference number 5, the rich understand the power of delaying gratification, whereas the poor seek short-term pleasure. As the economy falters, corporations lay off workers to minimize costs. Tim sits at his desk surfing Facebook and doing the bare minimum to keep his job. His boss notes him. Please return your laptop and badge to the front desk. We are letting you go. Tim panics about paying rent and expenses. Now that's his only income source. Tim always thought being an employee meant job stability, but after being fired, he wondered if he was mistaken. John's supervisor also fired him. In an exit interview, John's supervisor praises him for an hour, saying he had to let go of all the other employees before John. John accepts his fate and thanked his boss and told him he'd be alright. John knew that no job is secured, so he started an online business and a dividend stock portfolio as soon as he entered employment. They will keep him afloat until he finds another job. Therefore, difference number 6, the rich build several streams of income while the poor rely on only one. A week after losing his job, Tim mopes with his other loser friends about how bad the economy is and how hard it is to find another job. They complain about how unfair life is and how rich they would be if they had obtained lucky breaks. John invites his buddy to dinner after being laid off. John tells the group that he's been laid off due to the economy, but his other sources of income will sustain his lifestyle. One friend says John should join his construction company and offers him an executive position. Another acquaintance asks John if he wants to create a consulting company with her because the two had worked so successfully together in the past. Therefore, difference number 7, the rich surround themselves with other rich people, whereas the poor surround themselves with other broke individuals. These are the things that separates the rich and the poor. Thank you guys so much for watching Boss Advisory, and if you haven't yet, be sure to subscribe, give this video a big thumbs up, and hit the bell so you get notified on every new incredible content we make for you. Have a wonderful day, and see you on the next one.